Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the first video of Mental DeTalks. This is a great channel for mental health, and today we are going to actually dive in to a deep story, deeper than sex. So if you're ever a missionary, you know how deep that shit gets. But not only a deep story, it's gonna be my story, and I feel like with my story, a lot of people that struggle with mental health, this is a way to be like, hey guys, I'm not going through this by myself. And it's real hard. You know, there's about 800,000 suicides a year, and that's just too many people being like, hey, I give up. I'm done. It hurts too much, and I can't do it anymore. So me, by sharing my story, I've been through a bunch of things through my life to where if you could relate to me, you might as well just press the subscribe button, and we're going to talk to a bunch of people on this journey just to hear their story and hear the things that they go through, so people that also hear that may be able to relate to that. And let's just dive right into it. And we're going to start right when I was born. You know, when my mom and my dad, they had sex. I hope they did all the positions. But you know, missionary is just fine. And I was made. Isn't that a fucking miracle, you know? And what happened was I'm adopted. That's something that happens in the world to where parents can't either take care of their kid, or some parents just don't want their kid. I can't tell you which one I was. I was adopted, and for me it was such a struggle because growing up I was always like, why did my parents leave me? Why did they abandon me on a railroad, like right out of the fucking coochie, bro? Like it wasn't like they gave me a chance to be their son. It was they had one and they didn't want it. And maybe it was because I was born different. And growing up, that was always my struggle. You know, I was adopted by a amazing mom, amazing dad. To me, it was a blessing, but it was a blessing in disguise that it took me a while to realize it was a blessing. And when I started school, I was in Arizona. So to all my Phoenix people, was good. You know how it is. But me being adopted, me being born different, I feel like all people that have been adopted go through that struggle of, was I good enough? Why was I not good enough? And at the same time, at a young age, in our immature young minds, the torment we would get would be your parents didn't want you. Your parents gave you up. Your parents just threw you away. You are worthless. And that was really hard for me to hear. And at the time it was like, how am I gonna look at this? Am I adopted because I wasn't good enough? Or am I adopted because God wanted me to have parents that chose me? You can look at it good, you can look at it bad. And I'm not gonna stay on this for long, but to everyone that's adopted and goes through struggles of feeling unwanted, come on now, your parents chose you. You know how dope that is? To be like, this motherfucker over here, he got some parents and he's just stuck with them. The parents are like,
I was adopted too.
You were adopted too? That's amazing. Because there's parents out here, there's horrible parents. They don't take care of their kids. They don't do anything for their kids, and they're stuck with these kids, okay? My parents threw me away, but the blessing of that was my parents that I have now, they're great people. They chose me. They saw me. They said, that's the kid that we want in my family. And to anyone that hears this that went through adoption, you gotta feel grateful to be chosen. And that's just something that I kind of take with me to get me through that. Because sometimes just seeing all the negative isn't helping. It makes things worse than they are. So I was adopted, and as y'all could tell, I'm born different. not the most prettiest, not the most finest, whatever you want to call it. To me, I'm ugly, but that's okay. And that's really hard because I feel like in this generation nowadays, everyone has these judgments. From kinder to high school, it's always, you're not good enough. You don't look like this. You don't look like that. Man, come on now. All of us are different. And the thing is, you could be the prettiest person ever, but someone will always think you're ugly. Like, it just is how it is. So you gotta stop caring. You just gotta stop caring, you know? Who the fuck is this guy telling me I'm ugly? Cool. And grew up going through that. Grew up being bullied, and it was really hard. And I feel like a lot of kids have gone through that. And that was just super hard for me because my whole life, all I wanted to do was fit in. Tell me if that's not you. But in middle school and high school, you saw all the popular kids. You know, they have all the pretty girls, the parties, all the fun. And that's all I wanted to do. You know, it got to the point to where I'm changing who I am to be someone I'm not, to fit in a group of people that I don't belong in. And that's going to bring us to middle school. Middle school, I played basketball, and it was super dope. I loved basketball. I still play it now sometimes. But as I saw all these popular kids, I'm just like, I don't want to be a nobody. I feel like that's everyone's idea of school. I don't want to walk into school and be a nobody. So what I did was, you know, start acting out. I started changing who I am. I started changing my morals to fit in. And that was the worst decision I have ever made. So to anyone that is in middle school or high school, yeah, you want to fit in. You want to be cool. You want to be popular. But to the people that you belong with, you will be cool and popular to them. You don't have to impress everyone. And for me, it led me into depression. So when we talk about deep depression, it's deep rest. And that's deep rest from being someone I wasn't and being someone that you're not. And that was just so draining. I went from, yeah, I'm popular, I have all these friends, to now I'm going to, I'm sad, I want to die, I want to kill myself. And I feel like a lot of us have self-harmed, and that's a horrible thing. If you're thinking about hurting yourself, don't do it. And that's hard, you know. To me, someone tells me not to do it, I'm just like, why the fuck do you care? You know, you don't care. Like, I'm gonna do what the fuck I want to do because this is what I feel like doing, and no one around me could tell me not to do it. And that's a battle. But you don't want to die. You want to kill something that's inside of you that's hurting. And sometimes it's hurting because what you're doing, you're not meant to do. You know, and it brings us to high school. The same exact thing. Hung out with a bunch of athletes, you know, all D1 players. Congratulations to if you see this and you know me and you're playing D1 football, it's nice to see that you're doing that. And I hung out with them too in high school. Freshman to every 14 high schools I've been to. Always was trying to fit in. Always was trying to be cool. And I'm going to tell you this now. Being popular is not what you want to do. It sounds good. Everything sounds good. You know, that fine girl in your classroom, she sounds and looks good, but talk to the bitch. She may not be everything you were expecting. And that was my issue. You know, I became popular, and then it started off as, hey, we're all popular, we're all cool, we're all the cool kids. Everybody wants to be a cool kid. And then it started of high school, hey, we're all virgins. You gotta have sex. If you don't have sex, you are not popular. You are a pussy or a bitch, whatever you want to call it. Whatever they call it at your school, that's what you are if you don't have sex. So we all started having sex. Like, we were like 14, 15, you know. And Okay, now we all have sex, and we're all still popular. Now it comes to the drugs. Hey, we all have smoked, and I've smoked myself. I've smoked a lot, to be honest, and now we all have to smoke. If you don't smoke, you are a bitch. You're not popular. You can't hang out with us. You have to do this. Hit this, or the mom's a hoe type shit, you know? So guess what we all do? We took the blunt and we hit it. I mean, what would you do? And it didn't just it didn't stop there, which I wish it did. I wish I knew. I'm 18, almost 19. I wish I knew 4 years ago what I know now. I would have never done all of that. I would have just been myself, because the people that will like me and the people that are meant to be with me will come to me. I probably missed out on a bunch of great people being someone I'm not, because they don't want to be around the person that I was pretending to be. They wanted to be around me, and since I threw that old me away, they didn't want to hang out with me. So I probably missed out on some great opportunities, you know. Went to 14 high schools. I don't know if anyone could say that. Raise your hand if you've been to 14 high schools. I'm probably the only one. But it was always because I was always trying to do more. Always trying to be that top person. And it's hard to be the top person when we're all different. We're all in a different ballpark. You know, I'm trying to be the MVP in everyone's ballpark, but we're all in a different arena. You know, and it was hard. So I did some acts, so I fought a teacher. What else did I do? I hotboxed the bathroom during finals testing, okay? And threw chairs, threw trash cans. I did drugs, you know. It was tiring. You know, I gave my mom a struggle, and for the mom that adopted me and chose me, I'm sorry for the struggle I put her through. Because every single week, she has to come to the school and pick me up, because all I wanted to do was show people that I could do this, and I don't have to show people shit. It was my own personal issue. So I feel like if you're in high school right now and you know what you're doing is not who you are, just stop. Just stop. Because I promise you, the people that are meant to be with you will accept you for who you are not and for who you are. For the insecurities that you may have, they're still going to accept you, and they're still going to be like, oh my gosh, you are a great person. Look at me. I'm in college. I have about 40 friends. 40 friends, and I look like this. Oh my gosh. You know, I have all these insecurities, and I don't know why all these people like me. And I came to the fact that they like me because I'm being me. I'm not being this person over here. I'm not trying to be a D1 athlete. I'm not trying to do whatever. I don't want the pretty girl. I want the girl that loves me for who I am. And after going through all the high schools, I ended up doing online school. I lost my social life, you know, always at home, not talking to nobody, not doing any of that. And I asked myself this one question: was it worth it? Everyone I met in high school, I don't talk to now. I don't have any interaction with any of them. And I did all of that? You telling me I had sex with multiple people, I did drugs, I fought people, I got in trouble, suspended, kicked out, expelled, all of it. For some people I don't even know now, I don't know them. You gotta ask yourself that. What you're doing now, are you doing it for you or are you doing it for them? And my answer to that was I always did it for them. I always put them first, and it brought me down. Because look, I'm here And I put this person above me. I put this person above me. I put the whole group above me. And since I'm down here, that gotten so heavy, I started to fall. I started to go down. I started to go deep. And with a short time, I couldn't do anything. I felt like I'm being crushed by my own self. And I graduated. Luckily, I'm blessed to graduate. I never thought I would, but I did. And I also moved. I had a rough high school experience, and I always told myself, college, not for me. College, I'm not gonna go there. I won't be in college. Through all the shit I went through in high school, I didn't want to go to college, to be honest. And, I had that time to come up like a month before college started. And my mom, my best friend, my everything, she's just everything. She's like, you should go to college. You should at least apply. You should at least try. And before that, I just gotten sober, And that story, it started off when I moved from Arizona. I moved to South Carolina. With my insecurities, I was like, oh, what am I gonna do? Nobody knows me anymore. How can I get people to know me? So, for the age I think I was 16, 17, I knew how stupid people were. Come on now, I was stupid, and there's people stupider than me. And so I'm just like, y'all want some nicotine? I got some nicotine. And everyone jumped to it. I was in the capital of South Carolina, started selling nicotine the first 2 weeks I was there. Because I'm just like, I'm too ugly for people to come to me and be like, let me get to know you. So I'm just like, okay, I'm going to have you come to me for something that I have that you want that you can't get. Okay. So I started doing that, met a bunch of people, and it tore me apart because I'm doing something, the same thing I was doing in Arizona, I'm doing it here. I'm being someone I'm not. So when I started selling nicotine, started posting it, you know how everyone does back in the day. Add me on Snapchat, post me on your Snapchat, hit him up for a gas, for whatever, and did that. And I was new to the city, so everyone added me. No one else was doing it but me. And I met all these people, and I met this friend, or not friend, but people, and I thought they were there for me. But what happened was, me being someone I'm not, I attracted people that wasn't supposed to be in my life. That's another thing. When you become someone that you're not, you attract people that wasn't meant to be in your life. Does that click for y'all? So this person came in my life, and he introduced me. It started at nicotine. He introduced me to drugs. He introduced me to all these other things. I always smoked and everything, but I wasn't like a stoner, or I wasn't like a druggie or anything. And when you have a friend that's not good for you, but hey, they're my friend, it's okay, but they're not good for you, you can't push that aside. You can't push the fact that they're not good for you, and you cover it with, they're my friend. I'm gonna do it because they're my friend. And that's what happened. And bad high school experience, just moved, selling nicotine, and I went from selling nicotine to selling drugs, self-incriminating, but hey, I don't do it anymore. I don't want to do it. It's pointless. I have learned my lesson, and started doing all these things, and now I'm doing drugs. And for any drug dealer out there, tip: if you smoke and you sell drugs at the same time, it's not a good combination, because half the time you'll either smoke your pack, or you're gonna spend more than you sell. And that was my issue. I started smoking, started doing drugs, and I started putting out more money than I made every single week for my own personal use. And sooner or later, it was addiction. And I feel like a lot of people went through addiction. I feel like a lot of people are going through addiction right now. Whether that's nicotine, whether that's drugs, whether that's alcohol, whether that's weed. And when I mean addiction, I mean you need it to hang out with people. You need it to eat. You need it to sleep. You need it to do your daily needs. You know, that is what addiction is. When you rely on it to wake up and live your everyday life, and when you don't have it, you become irrational, you become angry, you become mad, you become depressed, you become sad. That is what addiction is. And I feel like a lot of people that go through addiction, I'm here. I went through it for 2 years, every single day. $500 a week. I went through it. And I didn't sell any of it, trust me. I was selfish. No sharing from me. Y'all could go to the neighborhood plug. I'm not it. And, fuck, I was a neighborhood buyer. What you mean? And, it was hard. And then let me tell you what happened. I moved again in the same state. I moved again. And, I told myself, I can't do this anymore. I don't want to die, but I can't do this anymore. And when I tell you I was fucked up, I mean, I'm over here taking a video of a couch, thinking I'm speaking, and I'm fucking mumbling, thinking I'm taking a video of myself, and it's a couch. Like, I could not talk, I could not move, I was fucked up, and I was almost every day. So I moved, still doing it, and I'm just like, I need help. And that's hard. For mental health people, for suicide, for bipolar depression, for depression, it's hard to say, I need help. Because in your head, you're saying, no one here is going to help me. In your head, you're saying, I'm not good enough for people to help me. You are saying that I'm too fucked up for anyone to even care about. And I feel like that's everyone's issue. I feel like that's a big handful of people that go through mental health. Their issue is, I'm not good enough. So why would they help me? So you hold it in. You hold it in, okay? And soon that cup that you're holding it all in kind of gets full, kind of gets heavy. And now you can't carry it anymore. And let me tell you, just for all mental health fighters right now, saying the words, I need help, was the best thing that I ever did. I'd never done it before. I would put 10 cuts on me before I say I need help. I said to my mom, my best friend, I need help. Going through some things, took some time. But one night I'm just like, went through some things, and I went home and I'm just like, I need more than help. I need Jesus. I need God. Because the greatest thing is, us humans, we could do a lot. We could try our best to do something, but no, we're not perfect. We're so far from perfect. And one night I went to my mom. It was like 2:30 in the morning. And still struggling with addiction, still struggling with multiple addictions. And I told my mom, I need help. I don't want to do this anymore. Mom, I am suffering. I don't want to die. I don't want to hurt. I'm tired. But I need God. I need God. And I've done a bunch of bad things, addiction. And you know what addiction causes? When you are addicted to something and you don't have it, it causes you to do irrational things to other people and to yourself. And that's what I started doing. Didn't want to do it no more. And I told my mom, I need God. Will He forgive me for all the things that I've done? Will He forgive me? And I know there's a lot of people watching out maybe struggling with their faith. But let me tell you this, guaranteed, I've done a lot more than you have. In the streets, everywhere. I have done a lot more than you have. And I thought God would never forgive me. And God forgave me. And all I had to do was ask. All I had to do was tell him I'm sorry. Recognize why I'm sorry. Because I dug myself a hole I couldn't get myself out of. Doing all these bad things. And when God forgave me, craziest things. 2 years of addiction. And it took me 1 day to get sober. I don't know how it happened, you know. I 2:30 gave myself to Christ. I said, God, I can't do this anymore. I can't do it without you. I need you. I'm struggling with addiction. I'm struggling with suicidal thoughts. I'm struggling with fear. I'm struggling with not knowing who I am and not being myself. God, I can't do this without you. God, I'm afraid I'm going to die if I don't have you. And he forgave me. And what happened was the next morning I woke up. Never done this before, guys. 8 a.m. Have y'all ever woken up that early in the morning? Like as a teenager, 8 a.m.? Never woken up that early. And for once I woke up without the urge to use any drugs. And when I woke up without that urge, I'm just like, oh my gosh, he forgave me. Oh my gosh, I don't have the urge. I don't have the urge to hurt myself. I don't have the urge to use. I don't have the urge to hate. I don't have any sexual urges. But I have the urge to go to church. I have the urge to love people. I have the urge to be who I am. Without the fear of people thinking I'm not good enough for it. Without the fear of people thinking I can't do it. I had the urge to love my parents. And I had the urge to do the right thing. I've never done this stuff before. I was a fucked up child. I never done it before. I'm just like, I should have done this a long time ago. Oh shit. You know? And what happened was, before that I didn't want to go to college. And my mom's like, you should apply to college. Okay. We got a few colleges. It's like a month before college starts. I applied at 2, got accepted into both. But I felt like God was telling me to go to the Christian university to build my faith, because by God I needed to build my faith. To mature more, mature the right way. To be who I am, to find the people that I could be myself around. And so I went to this college, and you know, we're almost catching up in time right now. And I went to this college, and it was a good college. I never thought I'd be here, yet alone pay attention in my classes. That was another issue. Oh my gosh, I was in the ISS room so much. I don't know what we learned in the past 4 years, or 5, maybe count middle school, maybe 6, you know. And I was paying attention. I started getting hundreds on my tests, started doing my work in class, and I met some people. And hear this, I met some people. I wasn't trying to be someone I wasn't, and I met people. Not only did I meet people, I met good people. Not only did I meet good people, I met people that care about me, and I could be myself around them every day I see them, and I'm not hiding from someone that I'm supposed to be to someone who I'm not. And I feel like that's where a lot of people in school is at right now. You're around these people because the picture looks good. You're around these people because the picture looks good. Hey, I felt the same way. I can't judge you. When I was in high school, I wanted the prettiest girl. I wanted the most athletic guys, the popular group of people, and I was in it. But after a few years, I lost it. I lost it because I was never supposed to be in it in the first place. We have that power of free will to make our own choices. Yeah, are they good or are they bad? And the good thing about this is our free will of choices, it will never disrupt God's path for us. Because if this is what God's path was, and I did all that in the past I wasn't supposed to do, and I still got on God's path, then that's how you could be like, hey, it's okay to mess up. I messed up for 10 years, and I'm still on the right path. That's crazy, bro. And just want to say to all people struggling with addiction, 4 months sober. And to all the people struggling with mental health, whether you're 1 day clean, 1 year clean, it's possible. And I will actually want to ask people, just try this one time. I know a lot of people in our generation struggles with their faith, and they struggle with wondering if Jesus and God are real, and they struggle. I ask you to pray. I ask you to ask God to guide you. I ask you, whatever you struggle with, give it to God, and He will answer you. Maybe not in a day, maybe not in a week. You know, I had no friends for 6 months, and I asked God for friends 6 months ago, and I had nobody, not one person on my side. And it took Him 6 months, not because He took too long, but because I had to go through something to be prepared for what He had for me. 6 months ago, I was still being someone who I wasn't. 6 months now, I'm being who I am, and this is what I want to do. This is 100% who I am. This is me. 6 months ago, you would have never gotten me. And God knew that. God was like, hey, we still have some work to do. I know you prayed for friends, but I promise when the work here is done, you will have more than what you prayed for. And all I had to do was be patient, stay faithful. The two things, patience, faith, and in the middle, let's put work. If you work, and you have patience, and you have faith, that's everything. I was very impatient as a kid. I was very unfaithful, honestly, and I was very lazy, you know, and I was going nothing but down. So now I prayed, and I have 40 friends, 40 of the best friends, 40 friends I would take over all the high school people, all the middle school people, and fucking elementary too. Had great friends. So I ask everyone that struggles with their faith today, that struggles with their belief in Christ and God, I ask you to pray. And it may not come in the time that you want it to, but I promise you God hears you. To look and hear what He did for me. You know, there's been so many times I could have been arrested, but I wasn't. Okay, that was God. Because I'd done some bad things. Like, the police knew me by name, by first name. They'll drive around and I'm riding on a motherfucking bike that my mom has. Hey, Tommy, where you get that bike from? Bitch, I ain't steal no fucking bike, bro. Cut it out. And like, it was bad. And then, struggle with addiction. Ask God to heal me, and He healed me in a day. Like, 6 hours, bro. To be honest, like 2 seconds. But like, after I woke up, I still was good. I asked for friends because I was friendless for 6 months, and He gave me 40 of them. I asked for 2 of them. It's in my book. I asked for 2 friends, and He gave me 40. But to get those 40, I had to go through what He needed me to go through. So if you're struggling with drugs, you're struggling with the sexual desire, you're struggling with mental health, whatever you're struggling with, I ask you to try and give it to God. And I feel like when you do that, you will understand the power of God is greater than anything you could ever do. So, with that today, that is the first video of Mental Detox. I'm hoping people that listen to it could have detoxed from it today. Maybe even gain a new perspective. Maybe even try something new. Whether you go to school and you try it tomorrow to be who you are, or whether you go right now, you cut off all the people that may not be good for you. But I hope that everyone that hears this could do something good today, do something better to improve them. Don't give a fuck about everyone else. Everyone else has their own life to worry about. Focus on you and focus on what will better you today, tomorrow, and the next day. And just so everyone knows, after this podcast, we will have sit-down interviews with people, and I'll have them tell their story. Because I feel like everyone goes through something, and they all feel like they're doing it by themselves. And I'm hoping that after talk to so many people that listen to me or watch my videos, they could find someone that they relate to. And they could find new ways to get them out of the struggle, new ways to get better, new ways that they never thought of, new coping skills, new everything. Because mental health matters. It's hard to hear that 800,000 people kill themselves a year. So my goal is 800,000. Fuck all that, I hope that we can bring it down to maybe 100,000. Shit, maybe even 100. But I can't do it without y'all. I can't do it without God, and I can't do it without myself being who I am. So, with that said, I hope everyone has a great day, and I hope everyone does something to change themselves for the better. Because your mental health matters. Toodles.